Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's meeting. Good to see you all. I'd like to, sometimes I reiterate things, but every time we actually use this as a model for meditation, we just use this as an inspiration as well. So this is the Trisu, or the trident of Shiva. And the number three is appearing as a number that is quite a mysterious number. It refers to past, present, future. It also refers to the three goddesses. And also, we may say that, and what I want to talk today about is the infinity sign on the tristle. And the infinity sign symbol, it's actually a drum. You see, this is a little drum here. You can play the drum, but what's important in it is the midpoint, which is the 0 point. And of course, the drum is bringing about the Omkar, which is the universal sound of Om. And that Om is reverberating, and before there was anything, there was this sound, and through the sound or the frequency, then we have waves created in the multiverse, and then creation starts from that. And your body is actually this drum, which is a very mystical, creative element, that once you are in this 0 point, which means that you are the locus, you are the center of everything. And when you're able to let go of your binding, then you realize that truly everything is here right now. The center of creation is you, and everything is here right now. And so, more specifically, if there's a 0 point, it actually, from the nothingness, can fuse into everything that is on the other side. It comes through the 0 point. It is like a collapsing of, it's like a collapsing vacuum, then that it ejects reality. And that is also the function of your Kundalini force, because the trident is also the symbol of wisdom, jnana, action, kriya, and the will. Yes, and we always talk about the will of one, correct? So we have the will, then we have the wisdom, the discernment, and then we have the action, which is the kriya. Yes. Kriya Yoga is not just a series of breathing techniques. It is the philosophy of conscious creation as God, through God, by God, which is you, the divine God self. Yes. And what is that? I was just thinking today, more specifically, what is that thing that creates in us? And it is that, first of all, prana, life force, that is then, which is prana is not purely physical. It's not purely physical, meaning energetic. It's actually energetic and beyond energetic. So subtler force than energy. And if we know how to implode that energy through the use of our Kundalini Shakti, then that through that implosion, we create from purity. We collapse the particle and the wave, or we collapse the wave into the particle. That means its creation, correct? So this is quantum science. But you don't really need to know the theory of this. And what you need to know is how to retrieve yourself to the 0 point in order to then be able to create from that empowered, pure light state. And also, retrieving yourself into the 0 point then aligns you to that highest wisdom, the will, and the action of your purity. Yeah, so from here, from the nothingness, from this side, goes into the 0 point, which is the point of pure potentiality, and then it emanates and creates the world. Yes. So that happens through our body mechanism. It happens on a multiversal scale. This creation constantly is happening. Yes. This is actually quantum science, which is coming closer and closer to the science of the Vedas through to yogic science. And yogic science had been derived by very direct experiences of the rishis. Yes, those were the holy men, and they were noted down in the holy scriptures in order for us to be able to have a grasp of reality itself. And how do we actually conduct ourselves in this very dense realm in order to create from a much higher vibrational realm? Because, as you know, humanity as a race had fallen throughout time in consciousness, and I see that now we're rising back up slowly. Our consciousness level is rising back up so that we create for the highest good of all. And of course, everything has its own purpose, why we rose and why we fall. It all has a purpose. Yes. Okay, so today we're going to address the fifth dimensional chakras, which is the higher heart, the Alta Major chakra, the Soul Star chakra, and then the Stellar Gateway. Imagine as we're creating this tube of light, this pranic channel, which is always here. And a significant element of that pranic channel, if you extend it through your spine upward, is your stellar gateway chakra. So imagine it as a vortex of golden crystalline light through which you allow these beautiful high frequencies to come into all the rest of the hologram, which is the body hologram. And then you allow all of your energy centers to be aligned into that purity. Yes, and a lot of what I feel is that a lot of overload of information is happening right now through these light particles. Like I have been having a migraine for the past 3 days, and by clearing and opening, allowing more of this stellar gateway to ingest that light into our bodies and clear whatever needs to be cleared and then transmuted, then you're actually able to open up to your higher potentiality. That is the stellar gateway. And the soul star, actually the soul star, which is first like 30 centimeters above your head, is a chakra that is then that has this ability to harmonize all of the other chakras in the body hologram, within the physical body hologram. Of course, chakras are not physical locations. They're more like vibratory fields that are almost holding the body in place. It's a very interesting way of putting it. And the less obstructions, and I keep on saying this, you having these chakras, the more you're open to this being, natural being that you are, without any relationality. Like, you stop relating as a person, you stop relating in terms of subject object, you stop relating in terms of world and you, because it all merges together. Yes. So consciousness is self-aware. Yes, that is the sat in the Satchitananda. Consciousness is self-aware. And once you become aware of you being consciousness itself, then there is this merging of the world with you. And then there is no two, there's just one. Yes. And that's that point, the three kind of potentialities of nothingness, 0 point, and everythingness is actually happening at the same time. Yes, because there's no time. Everything is here right now. And what's happening is, in this day and age, we're also collapsing all of our lifetimes and timelines, because if everything happens at the same time, then do you have past lives? They're still happening at the same time. Correct. And all we are doing is, not we, but consciousness is proliferating itself in the myriad of ways, from nothing to everything, and then it just experiences itself as something, whether it be you, me, a dog, an object. It's all consciousness experiencing itself. Yeah. And the ultimate phase is where you can experientially have the ability to harmonize paradox. Well, I just mentioned the paradox, correct? Nothing into everything. And it's all happening at the same time. It's interesting, huh? And the more that you have this ability to harmonize paradox, meaning paradox, paradoxa, meaning beyond doxa, which is like a very one limited kind of conceptual way of seeing things, which means it's above it, meaning two opposites can still be the truth at the same time, meaning that the world exists and the world doesn't exist at the same time. You're real and you're unreal at the same time. Yeah. And once you kind of collapse these dualities, then you just are. There's no you, and there's just beingness. And that beingness is all encompassing. It's everything and nothing. And it's here. It's always been here, and it will always be here. So harmonizing the paradox. Yeah. So that on kind of like a more basic level, how do we work as a sadhana on harmonizing paradox? Even just look at your human nature. It is full of paradoxes. Your views usually are meeting these excessive negations in the outside world, what you think and what actually happens. Your notions of the world, your notions of yourself, they're constantly fluctuating between this and that, paradoxes. Yes, and the less we're stuck on either side of the spectrum, but we can see both, and by seeing both, we can neutralize it. Yes, and that's actually the purpose of you being here, because this is duality here. And once you neutralize duality, you transcend duality. So harmonizing paradox, in other words, means you transcend duality. And transcending duality takes a while. It takes a while. It usually costs a lot of pain because the ego needs to be tenderized. And that process of tenderization, when you tenderize the meat, the ego's suffering is allowing the ego also to gain an insight, yes, into maybe faulty views or faulty understanding or concepts. And then this is how we also merge extremes, because the ego usually thinks in extremes. And it always is reinserting itself through suffering. Yes. It, we would say that the ego is in a constant existential crisis. Constant. Okay. So that's one end of the spectrum. Yes. And we know that there is another end of the spectrum when we are experiencing bliss and elation and inspiring notions of life, of love, of wisdom. So these are the extremes. And then we collapse the two into the 0 point. And that is that infinity symbol. So I started talking, finally, I get to the end of the infinity symbol. Yes, it's constantly referencing the extremes, the paradoxes, constantly. So we're going to work with the infinity symbol as well, implement it into the chakra field, and cleansing these 5-dimensional planes of existence. So let's do that. We're leaving all of this talk behind. It is a partial truth. Words never point to the whole truth. Words can only approximate our notion of the ultimate reality. Our notion can only be embodied, and then it becomes true. Allow to form this pranic channel by just dropping back into the center of your heart, the backside. And beautifully, the intention of today that's coming to me. I got inspired yesterday. So the intention of today is going to be that I'm ready to fully leave my past impressions, experiences behind. I'm open to fully collapse all of my past memories, all of the inscriptions into the chitta, which is kind of like your extended mind field throughout incarnations. All of the samskaras and the chitta vrittis, which are the food of the restlessness of your mind. We are ready to leave all past impressions behind. As we bathe in the waterfall of pure divine light that allows these densified light waves to clear. This is the pure alchemy of your soul. You see, your soul is so strong. It is so loving. It's so vast. Your soul is actually that impetus that sings love into being. And we are ready to leave our past behind. And again, another sadhana. The sadhana is a practice, spiritual practice. So first of all, we become so expanded that we allow paradoxes to be coexisting, meaning your shadow self and your transcended God self, they exist together because you are on this plane. Your higher dimensional abiding and the abiding in this world as a body, as a character, playing a multitude of roles, collapsing that paradox. Not an easy one. And then another element of sadhana is that whenever you are referencing yourself, we're going to be vigilant of the self-referencing mechanism of the ego, meaning you're sitting with friends or sitting with new friends and you need to kind of refer to yourself, what you've done, who you are, what happened to you to make you who you are. And you just notice, oh, I'm still referencing the past. You're not judging it, and notice. And also notice, does it serve you? Notice that, okay? So that's the second intention, sadhana. Very important. These are deep, deep practices, moment to moment, that shall then further and further release the content of your chitta. Because the content of the chitta is always whirling. It's always creating newer and newer movements, motions, notions, self-referencing, patterning. Yeah. And the more this field is cleared, then the chitta vrittis, which means the constant movement of thought and referencing. So we have the movement of the monkey mind that's referencing emotion, sensation, feeling. Yes, that's how it works. We have these imprints. And the whole purpose of your life is to neutralize these imprints. And from neutralizing these imprints, you become free. And you become an embodied divine self. So it is. We create from this purity of the soul. We connect into this field. Our heart field is connected around the fire of consciousness. Know that the fire is that element of purification that transcends the dross, that which is not true. We are harmonizing the will, the wisdom, gyan, and the kriya, action. You see, when these three planes are harmonized, you create from your God self. And you stop whirling in the chaos of your samskaras. Your heart space is opening like this beautiful vortex. Visualize a golden white lotus flower. And just notice how the petals of this flower are opening. The 1,000-petal lotus, the center of your chest. And you just allow this blooming. This is the flower of compassion. A flower that embraces ecstasy and pain, ignorance and wisdom, love and fear, darkness and light. Just notice that this lotus flower is teaching you to also have reverence for that shadow self in you that seemingly failed at so many things. It failed and keeps failing at so many things. And despite of this all, fall back into this space of all allowing. And ponder for a second from this beautiful space of compassion. Is it your personal will that is at the driver's seat? Or can you tap into this divine will? The divine will Shakti. Even Nietzsche talks about Wille zum Macht, very mystical power. Ponder, is it your personal will that is really at the driver's seat? Or is everything happening through the divine will? And as you're pondering this, not with your mind, the crystalline lotus flower starts blooming and it's emanating the rays of transcendence. As you're aligning slowly through these light codes of wisdom, you're intending and aligning will, wisdom, action, kriya, as a divine being. Notice that this alignment is actually happening to humanity at this time. And on the surface of things, on in your day-to-day life, notice that you are confused, that you even feel lost. You feel like you're going through the motions of your old reality. And you're still doing it, but nothing makes sense. Because you're being delivered, ascended out of a reality that had been imprinting in your hologram and in your ancestors' hologram for so long. And these subatomic informational patterns are being released, freed. That's why there's so much confusion, fear, anger, chaos in our experiential field. And underneath it all, we are aligning with the will, wisdom, and action of the highest intelligence. And of course, the binding element of all of this is love. Love is not different from will, gyan, wisdom, or kriya, action. In this chaos, we allow all of our doubt, fear to come up to be seen. The doubt that it is possible to live in a love centered, life affirming reality for that serves the highest good of all, that nourishes the sacredness of life, all life. The chaos, the density, the confusion, the fear is being transcended. It's almost like all of the untruths that we've swiped under the rug is coming up from under the rug to be seen. And a lot of us, because we are not trained, or because it's energetic, pull is very strong. So our senses, our finer senses, are drawn and being maybe even drowned by all of this coming up. And even notice, even if for moments you get fully drowned, you fully identify with the mirage, with the video game. of your reality. Have compassion for that self, for these momentary automated behaviors. And it's almost like you plunge into the dream and then you wake up, and you plunge in and you wake up. And then wakefulness, awareness, presence happens for longer and longer period of time. You see, the Trisu, trident of Shiva, is also the three binding forces: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And our ability to transcend it. So that's what we're doing by harmonizing paradox. That's the way. And it's also the three states of dream, wakefulness, and transcendence, or Turiya. As the lotus flower of your heart, this purity, this vortex of pure creational potentiality allows this 1,000-petal lotus at the higher heart level, which is the top of your sternum, to emanate its effulgence of the transcendental white crystalline golden light. Feel how your higher heart is being called and allowed to sound this devotional sound. It's like a cry, a call for the remembrance of your truth. And we feel how this purity of the white lotus is expanding. It's connected at its heart. And what is that lotus emanating from? You know it very well, darkness. But know that the lotus flowers never touch the water. They don't. They don't touch the physical plane. This is just an analogy. The water would be the world. They emanate from darkness. They rise above the water. They emanate from the mud. the mud, the darkness, births this beautiful purity, pristine beauty that is your soul. The center of this beautiful lotus flower, there's this loving, all encompassing darkness, the lightless light. It is so known, the womb of creation. Feel, feel it. It allows you to be in this womb-like space where you can return a chrysalis before you become a butterfly. This germination, a 0 point, a field of pure potentiality. And just feel for a second. You as a chrysalis, you do not know that you are to become this beautiful butterfly. You're not expecting anything. You're not trying to become anything. And you feel really protected and whole in this womb. Just feel how these energies are calling all of yourself, all of your energy from all space time, all lifetimes, timelines back to you, the center of your heart. There's nothing to become. It's just rest. We stop the rajas, stop the movement. We're not running around in chaos. The circumference of your life. Call ourselves back to the center. Notice from this central positioning of peace, nothingness, void pregnant with everything. So it promises everything. Do not worry. Do not be afraid of it. You're collapsing all of the information, all of the samskaras. Go deeper. Collapse. What lies beyond the thoughts? And you start feeling this empowerment, clarity, love, serenity, omnipotence, omniscience of your being in the stillness. aligning. Your holographic field with your highest home frequency, the frequency of your soul, the original blueprint, your unique fractal blueprint. And you are in this pure, womb-like, protective space, stopping all modulations of energy, collapsing into the vortex of your 0 point. Familiarize yourself with this darkness. It is the body of the mother. It provides you with deep rest, deep rejuvenation. It clears the chaos. It instills the knowing, the wisdom, the trust. Notice that you are that limitless, all pervading, still. Being, consciousness, self aware. It is that force that can rewrite your hologram as we are harmonizing the heart, the higher heart. And notice that before everything, before your body, before your sense of self as a limited human, you are. And in this limitless space, all pervading, we're harmonizing the higher heart. See it as this golden vortex of light, your Alta Major chakra. So consciousness tuning your body hologram. Your third eye, your causal chakra above your head. First the crown and then the causal chakra. Trust the process. Soul star chakra. You don't have to see anything. The soul star chakra is now harmonizing all the 7 chakras from the crown to the root. Infusing this adherence to will, wisdom, and action for the highest good of all as your divine being. And experience as this vast, all-encompassing womb that you are. Is experiencing this infusion of the white crystalline golden light through the stellar gateway, and in this beautiful, calming, healing, rewiring darkness, we are seeing this pranic light cascading down your stellar gateway beyond your head. And all you see in this beautiful darkness is the pranic channel. This channel is your more immediate sense of your body in the vastness of source. The golden crystalline white light. Receive, receive, receive. This is the Amrit, the dew, the divine dew, the blessing of the Mother. from our stellar gateway. It is a vortex. That is the cosmic level. Allow yourself to be this pillar of light, and this light is cascading down. Stellar gateway, soul star, causal chakra, crown, through your third eye, throat, into your spine, out your root, into the crystalline grid of this planet, through the heart of Mother Gaia. You can hear the Omkar, the originating sound of Om, reverberating in the cosmos. I ask this pillar of light to be sustained throughout all the density, as it's downloading your highest blueprint, your highest blueprint of your unique fractal, the soul atom. Allow the soul to descend deeper into the body vessel. And it's asking you right now to intend. I intend to leave all of my past expressions, experiences behind. For I am that I am. I am that I am. Tat Tvam Asi. As you return to your childlike innocence, the purity of your soul, Start visualizing this pillar of light moving like a cyclone from your third eye in your head, in your body. It's moving clockwise. The light particles are clearing your body through this motion, clockwise motion. Your body becomes the river of light, reigniting your Merkaba. You are a light being. Clearing all density, zero pointing all samskaras, clearing the chitta vritti. We arrive, we arrive. Imprint this into your third eye. Chitta vritti nirodha, the stopping of all mind fluctuation. When you collapse into the silence of your natural self, you are that. The vortex in the pillar stops. And there's just this crystalline white golden light, ever present, ever transcending, but at the same time existent throughout all the density, fully harmonized. Allow it to stop. It hasn't stopped yet. Thank Mother, Father, God for this teaching and embodiment of our divine self. Thank our guides, higher selves, Babaji. Thank the wisdom of Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma as embodied wisdom for the highest good of all, for the illumination of the human race, adherence to the highest will, wisdom, action. So it is.